Hi, Maddie. How are you?
Good, Haley. How are you, my love?
I'm good. I'm excited about what we're going to talk about today. So,
Yes.
today
What do we
we're going
got?
to talk about how two things can be true at the same time. And really,
Beautiful.
sort of the issues this causes, I think, when people don't see that.
Yeah.
This shows up a lot. And so, we're going to say more about this. So, let's just get cracking. But how do you see this showing up, Maddie, where two things can be true at the same time and this is causing problems? Like, how do you see
Yeah.
this?
Um, Pretty much everywhere in personal life and business life on the internet. People descending into absolute carnage in comments, in particular TikTok. This is why I can't deal with
Lord,
it
I
very
can't
well.
cope with it. I just
Um,
can't.
face Facebook groups. I have a Facebook group who are very well behaved, and two things can be true at the same time. And sometimes there's an example. It can
Yeah.
get into debates and arguments, and it can. I see it as being very like black or white. Like I think this, you think this. We're going to argue about it, and I'm right and you're wrong. But both people are thinking that
Yeah.
and getting into that.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think this is, I'm very grey in my thinking. I know you are as well, really. And
Yeah.
I think, yeah, two things can be true at the same time is just so true. And when you can't see that and you become very polarizing, I see a lot of polarization just generally a lot.
Yeah.
The internet's brought that out in everyone, hasn't it? People get so stuck on their side and don't realize that both sides can be right, at least in parts, which
Mm-hmm.
means two things are true. And so for me, I don't know. And I think a lot of this is to do with my therapy training. Like I was
Mm-hmm.
trained to think in this way, but always looking at the other side. How you develop empathy is always looking at the other side as well. And what I've really come to know is that when I watch people arguing in Facebook groups, which I try not to do much, but it happens, I always think you're both right in a way,
Yeah.
but they're so convinced and people get so mad about it. And I think it's so bad for your mental health, this sort of thing, isn't it? And this sort of venomous arguing, I really don't like it. I mean, I can't cope with TikTok at all. I feel like no one
Yeah.
ever comments unless it's angry. Like the
Yeah. And
comments are
then
all, no one comments to say
arguing
that's
with each
nice,
other.
this is good, like people do on Instagram. They go, oh, I feel
Yeah.
this. On TikTok, they only comment to disagree or pull you down. Oh, I find it all so painful. So I think
Yeah.
if we could get into this thinking of two things can be true at the same time, it would actually bring us a lot of peace mentally.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, should we do something? We've got examples, haven't we, Maddie, of how this is
Yeah.
showing up in our industry. So
Yeah. I think it's
let's
helpful to share. Yeah.
yeah, let's get really clear on what we mean. And so I think a good example is how two things can be true. You can be fully booked and really don't like it. Like, the dream as a hairdresser
Yeah.
is to get fully booked. Like, when you're first qualified, fully booked is like kudos, isn't it? She's
Goals.
always
Yeah.
fully booked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all of that. And that can be your dream to be fully booked, and to grow your business and get a salon and all of that. But I think you can be pleased with yourself from achieving it and really hate it, but then feel ungrateful. I think that's what happens. And I think it can be brilliant and stressful at the same time. There can
Yeah.
be great things about being fully booked. And I think what we want to say as well is you're allowed to moan about it.
Yeah.
And
It's
it
okay.
and I see a lot people sort of saying, I know I shouldn't be ungrateful because of this. And I just think, no, two things can be true. You can be fully booked and be unhappy. And I think people are nervous at even expressing that because they don't
Yeah.
realise both things can be true at the same time. And so
Yeah.
that's one sort of example I'm seeing pop up. What about you?
Yeah. So this idea that enforcing policies, charging cancellation fees, late fees means that you are no longer a nice person. So it's like either I am a ball busting like witch and I do this, but then I lose all of my nice points, or I'm this like pushover, let people walk all over me, and like
Yes.
you can absolutely do both. You can enforce policies and be very boundaried and take care of your business and mental well-being, and the word of the day, and
Yes,
still be a nice person and deliver it in a nice way that doesn't make us like a bad egg.
exactly this. It's that thing of you have to be strict or nice.
Yeah,
You can't
pick a
be strict
side.
and nice. It's not
Yeah.
possible. Yeah. Are you going to be a
Yeah.
dick or not? And it's
Yeah.
like, people will think this, and it is, and it really, when you think only one thing can be true, it holds you back, doesn't it? I think
Massively,
that's
yeah.
another thing that we're saying is it causes tension in your brain.
Yeah. Oh, God,
um,
yeah.
what I see is this thing around, I talk a lot about how if you're treat your friends as clients, so you think about them as clients, that will really contribute to burnout. But I think people get up in, when I say this, like, I'm very careful where I say this, people kick off when I say, if you treat your clients like friends, this will contribute to burnout. You'll be stressed. Me and my clients are this. And people get really defensive about it. And I'm just like, two things can be true, folks.
Yeah.
If you treat your clients like friends, you will find it harder to enforce your boundaries and put your prices up. But I believe you can be friendly with your clients and be professional and enforce your boundaries. Two things can be true. And
Yeah.
and I think it's so interesting because I get nervous when I have to mentally prepare when I'm going to talk about this sort of thing, because it's one of those things that seems to make hairdressers feel very touchy
Yeah.
around, but me and my clients are friends. And I'm like,
Yeah.
is that true though? Is that serving you? And they feel like if they stop thinking about their clients as friends, they're going to become horrible. And
Yeah.
I'm like, no,
One
there's
or
a
the other,
middle
yeah.
ground.
Yeah.
There's a middle
Yeah.
ground here, folks. Both, and all of these things can be true.
Yeah.
And that is the sort of thing that does create a little bit of
Yeah.
a kick off.
Yeah, I'm thinking about like things where there's like people in camps. Do you know that's what it's like making me think of? And I know there are
Yes, like you
people
got to
who are,
choose a side.
yeah, like I see people who are adamant that you do not put kisses on messages, you do not use pet names for your clients, and it's like, well, actually, you can do both. Like as a
Do what you
northerner,
want.
like we use pet names all the time, and I can be very boundaried and deliver that in a nicely packaged message. It doesn't mean that I'm unprofessional
Yes.
because I do that. Whereas people on the camp of like, no, you have to be really formal and sort of corporate.
And wear a
Um,
suit.
well, yeah, and that actually takes us to me next one. Something that is there's been a lot of content around. I think everyone went mad because this guy posted a video of like you should have a full face of makeup, be fully dressed up in nice clothes. Otherwise, you are sloppy and unprofessional if you're in your Ugg boots and joggers, and you can
Yeah,
be
this is a
both.
really good
You can
example.
be either.
You can be either, and both, you can be successful and happy,
Hmm.
both.
Yeah.
And I suppose it's that thing of, I mean, I remember, I always say how I was raised in the industry was
Hmm.
full face of makeup. Like, I mean, in one of my first jobs, they tried to make me wear heels. I thought they
Oh
were joking.
Lord. No.
I was just like, what? But and a lot of salons I worked at, particularly when I was young, it was compulsory. You came in a full face of makeup. And I think that's an old school way of being because things are
Yeah.
different. Don't you feel like society just relaxes constantly?
Yeah.
Do you know,
Good.
like once upon a time, people didn't leave the house without wearing hats. You
Yeah.
know, people wore suits on planes.
Yeah.
Society gets more and more casual, and some people don't love that. But
Yeah.
I feel like these people who think you've got to turn up to a salon in a full face of makeup, I think that really works for certain business models,
Yeah.
and it really doesn't work for others. There's
Yeah.
people working in studios and salons who are very casual, and that makes their clients feel liberated.
Yeah. It's about your
Do you,
clients as well, isn't it?
it's about your clients. I remember my friend saying to me when I worked in a nice salon, "Oh, I'm not coming meeting you after work. I don't like going in. Everyone looks really nice." They found it
Oh, it's
stressful.
intimidating. Yeah. 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 I get
It's
that. Yeah.
intimidating. That's the word, intimidating.
Yeah.
And I think not understanding that there are some clients who are intimidated by that sort of hairdresser. So
Yeah.
someone who's just rocked up in the rug boots and the trackies with their hair in a top knot makes them feel brilliant. Like they can
Yeah.
turn up looking like that as well. So
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
things can be true, folks. Stop
Yes.
picking camps. Stop
Live in the
it.
middle.
Oh, I mean, another one I see is this thing that, like, the employed model versus the self-employed model. There seems to be a lot of
Yeah.
debate around this, doesn't there? And some people are
Yeah.
so angry, and and I feel like there's this sort of slight belief that an employed model is superior. Some people certainly speak like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you're only really running a business if you're employing people. And I just
Well,
think,
yeah.
go on, what were you going to say?
And sometimes it's not helped by brands. Like there's some brands who don't recognize, in terms of opening a trade account, they're like, you are not a proper salon even if you've got like a 30 grand studio built in your gorgeous garden. Well, I
Yeah,
think you've got a
it's not
salon
allowed
if
to
you're
go
working
to
at your
home
dining
addresses.
table. Yeah, like, I don't give a shit. But
Yeah.
yeah, them saying not even about spend. I understand, doing it on spend for their, financial reasons, but to just say you're not a real salon because you don't have employees and you don't have a bricks and mortar high street salon is like,
Yeah.
again, that's really outdated. Really, really outdated.
It is. And I just think, two things can be true. Employed models can work wonderfully and have their place for people, and self-employed models are wonderful and have their place. And
Yeah.
I don't understand why people have to pick a camp and
Yeah.
can't see that there is benefit in both for different
Yeah.
people. But it's like some people it's like if you're not with me, you're against me. Oh,
Fighting
it's tiresome, isn't it?
battles. It is
I
tiring, yeah.
mean, yeah, you can see why I'm not active on TikTok, really, can't you?
Yeah,
Just,
I get that.
it's like you're not interested if you're not polarizing. And we talk
Yeah.
about that a lot actually with me, don't we? Because I'm a mental health person, and so I don't want to be polarizing because I don't want to encourage rows and stuff. I want to
Yeah.
create solutions, and things that are clickable are often polarizing, aren't they? And I
Yeah,
don't
like people
making
do.
content that's dead clickable in that way, that's
Yeah, people do
aggravating to
great
people.
when they do that, when they polarize, and I think
Yeah,
you've
it's
got to
great for
be.
engagement.
Yeah, but for you, it's a very tricky line to
Yeah,
toe when you're talking about mental health. You can't be like triggering people in the same way as
yeah,
other people can online, and actually that's got me thinking of like how you market. Some people are like, oh, I'm word of mouth only, and that's like a badge of honor. Like I have built my entire business on word of mouth, and then there's people who are like,
yes.
you have to get on
Social media's a
TikTok.
fad.
If yeah, like oh, in particular because TikTok's like I guess the newest kid on the block. Really, it's like if you don't do this, you'll get left behind, and it's like, well, actually, both are true for some people and businesses and clients.
Both the true
Yeah, I
facts.
could do.
Some
You could do
people will
both.
be left behind. Yeah,
Yeah,
some people will be left behind by not
yeah,
doing TikTok, and some
yeah,
won't.
yeah,
Some businesses will make no difference if they do
yeah.
TikTok,
And also,
and
some
some
people's
people,
with word of mouth. I think if you have an older clientele and they get very old or are no longer with us, and then it becomes harder to market to a different generation through word of mouth because it's different,
that's
generally
not where
different
they're
generations
looking.
from different places.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's like that could
and so
also get you
both are
unstuck
true.
later. Yeah, both in the middle.
Both are true, and people get very obsessed, don't they? With
Yeah,
arguing their case. I find it so funny how people, like, I'm trained to look at the other side constantly.
yeah,
Like, it can be really annoying having a conversation with me when you want to moan, because sometimes I'm like, have you thought about this though? And
yeah.
people are like, oh.
No, just tell me I'm right, Haley. Tell me they're the
Yeah, and
dick.
I'm like, oh. But like, all of this, all of
Mm-hmm.
this. I think there's stuff like two things can be true. And so someone can be complaining about my business isn't as busy because there's cheaper alternatives around now.
Yeah,
They list all the things that are local. And I think that's not necessarily true.
mm-hmm.
They're not looking at what they're doing, like their marketing, like you talk about marketing and
Yeah,
stuff on
yeah,
Elevate.
yeah,
And so I think two things can be true is my point here.
yeah,
Some of your clients are leaving for cheaper alternatives, and some are leaving for different reasons, like maybe your service isn't as up to date, they're
Yeah.
looking for something more bougie, like it is something to do with your service. And
Mm-hmm.
some are leaving for money,
Yeah.
and that can be about, maybe someone's saying clients are not coming. Yeah, maybe new clients are not coming because someone's marketing better, but
Yeah.
you think it's because other people are cheaper.
Yeah.
And I think both are true.
Yeah.
Both are true. Some are leaving because of money and some are leaving because of experience, but
Yeah.
people get quite focused on the other one.
It's this. Yeah, it
They
has
get,
to be
it's
this.
this. It has to be this
Yeah.
one because this one I can't control, so it's not my fault.
Yeah, well, I was gonna ask you, like, from your perspective, like psychology perspective, therapy perspective, like why does this happen? Why do people get so adamant, like, on their side and fight their case, even if it's sometimes not the most helpful thing for them to? Often it's not the most helpful thing for them to believe, but they're like so firm
No.
in it.
Yeah, a lot of people fundamentally don't like change.
Yeah.
And so sometimes if you believe two things are true, you might need to change. And so people are often not fans of that. And so, like I was
Mm-hmm.
just saying, they will look for the side that means they have to do less. Like,
Yeah.
oh, well, everyone's, because it's shit, I can't do anything about it, not my fault, instead of looking at themselves.
Mm-hmm.
People love to be angry. Angry feels better than sad and scared. And so when
Oh,
something's
that's interesting.
changing,
Mm.
yeah, it's really interesting. Angry feels brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
It feels amazing. Feeling angry actually feels like you're doing something. So when you're
Yeah.
arguing in Facebook groups, you can feel like you're doing something about your problem, but you're not. You're either having a load of other angry people agree with you, or you're
Mm-hmm.
kicking off in TikTok. But being angry feels active.
Yeah.
And so sometimes when people are scared, they choose a polarized position, and scared doesn't feel good.
Right.
So they go for angry. Do you know what I mean?
Makes sense. Yeah.
And people love having someone to blame. Again,
Mm-hmm.
not my fault. I can't do anything about it. It's all those cheap salons that are opening up, and
Yeah.
then we can start getting obsessed with what's wrong with them. And, you can see it a lot. People, when things are going tough for them, they start talking about what they perceive their competition is doing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yeah.
you see people getting called tax dodgers and all of this, and it's getting very focused on the other
Yes.
side, on the other, yeah, I'm doing air quotes if you're listening,
Yeah.
the other side. People
Mm-hmm.
love to find a common enemy, like the government do it. Everyone does it, like they like to distract with it's their fault,
Yeah.
because then we don't have to look at what we might be contributing to the problem that we're facing. So it's much easier to blame other people
Yeah.
and be angry because it feels better. That
Yeah.
is my point.
It's I saw a phrase online the other week, and it's like totally stuck in my head about what you were saying about change, and it's along the lines of people prefer a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven. And I was like, oh, hell, this is so true. Where people,
Yeah.
like, even though it sucks and maybe they are losing clients and they're not making enough money and they're struggling, but they'll take that and believe things that uphold that. Like, if your belief is like, there's a cost of living crisis, no one has any money, it's so competitive, everyone's leaving, the industry's going down the pan, because that's what feels like the comfortable, safe, I am used to this. Plus, I don't have to take any responsibility and do anything if I just allow this to be my truth, even though it is like, it is a familiar hell. Because, yeah, we don't. Like, people
Yeah.
hate
And
change.
you know
Yeah,
where
so
you
interesting.
are in a familiar hell. And
Yeah.
also, if you decide to step out of that angry, moaning, things used to be better nostalgia sort of place that people get into, you might have to be not the smartest in the room.
Yeah.
You
It's
might have to be
vulnerable.
not good at something, vulnerable
Yeah.
to get out of something,
Yeah.
and people don't love that. People don't love
Yeah.
it. And so they feel like they're taking action by having a moan up in a Facebook group. It can actually
Yeah.
feel like you're doing something about it,
Yeah.
but you're not. You're absolutely wasting your energy and spinning on the spot. And
Yeah.
so I just think when we start thinking that two things can be true, when you start noticing that you're getting a bit ranty about something, I invite you to think, could two things be true here?
Yeah.
It's like growth.
Growth,
It's
baby.
personal
We
growth
love
stuff, isn't it?
it.
All
Yeah.
of that. Yeah. And so I think what's our big takeaways from this, Maddie? Like, what do you want people to know?
Yeah,
What do
and
you
I
want to
think we
leave them
touched
with?
on it I think it was last week, and we're talking about like it's like this idea of success. So what's right for someone else doesn't necessarily mean it's right for another person. So, going to the self-employed employed thing, one could work very, very well for one person, one might work for another. A particular pricing model might work really well for someone and not for another. Working I always think it's funny that we all work the same hours. Like everyone does Sunday, Monday off, late night Thursday. Why? Like
Yeah.
we can, you can do whatever you want, by the way. So I know someone who starts work at 6 and starts doing nails at 6 in the morning because she's like, I love it and my clients love it. Whereas other people are like,
Yeah.
no,
Come before
that's
work.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's bad boundaries. And it's like, no, it's not. She's actually really got really good boundaries. So just thinking about like yourself and just going, what do I actually want and what's good for me, and understanding that isn't necessarily what's okay and right for someone else.
It is interesting. It does tag in with what we were talking about last week in that way that it is often about being a bit concerned with what people are looking in and thinking, affecting
Yeah,
our decisions, isn't it?
definitely. Yeah. Yeah. And I think
This having
like,
to pick a camp.
yeah. And just on that note, like not feeling like you have to be like, yes, there are some things in life that I'm like firmly planted on one side that are my like very deeply held values and like core beliefs. But for most other things, there's like a degree of flexibility. For like 99% of things, there's a degree of flexibility. There's being like adapting and like one of the biggest lessons I've learned the last couple of years is like it is okay to change your mind. Like I've seen people
Oh, I
like
know.
tear
People don't
themselves
love
up.
that sometimes.
Yeah. And
I
it's
remember
like,
someone saying to me once about you change your mind like it was a bad thing. And
yeah,
I was like, am I not allowed to grow? I
yeah,
learned
like,
something new and so I've changed my mind. And they sort of said it to me like as a criticism. And I remember thinking, wow,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
wow,
But
I'm not allowed to do something new.
imagine if we were still acting like we did when we were 5 and thought, well, I've made my decisions now, so I'm going to be a
This
unicorn
is
or
it.
whatever.
Yeah, I only wear
Um,
unicorn onesies.
yeah, so I guess this is my life now. You
Yeah,
can
this is
change
what
your
my
mind
friends are
and like,
doing.
yeah, exactly. Like it's you have but every day really we should be getting better information and other information, making like informed decisions. And I think there's nothing more liberating than going, I had that wrong, or like that maybe served me for like the season of life I was in or where I was at in business or life. But actually now I want something different. Like I wanted a salon until I didn't want a salon. I did hair and I
Yeah,
thought I thought I would die behind the chair, and now I don't do hair.
yeah,
So like you can change. It's
yeah,
okay to change your mind. It doesn't make you like bad or wrong or anything like that. Yeah, change your
yeah.
mind all the time.
And I think listening to people on the other side of the debate from you is extremely useful, isn't it?
Yes,
You
yeah, yeah. Get
know,
out that echo
because I
chamber.
think change comes in the grey. I think,
Yeah.
I think, I think there's big change happening in the hair industry at the minute. And that's why there's a lot of these discussions going on about all sorts of different things and in
Hmm.
smaller ways. But I think the industry will move forward somewhere in the grey.
Yeah,
It won't be
definitely.
polarized.
Yeah.
It won't. It will end up in the grey because there's so many of us in the hair industry.
Hmm.
Things never really happen on the edges. And so,
Yeah.
yeah. But my big takeaway is I think I have two things I'd like to say.
Yeah.
Number one is I would like people to get really concerned with their side of the street. It's very therapy saying this, but we used to you talk about this with your clients, and it's like, stop being so concerned with the other side of the street and what they're doing, and clean up yours
Yeah.
and see how your life changes. And what I see when people are not accepting that two things can be true is they're so concerned with like throwing litter at the other side of the street and pulling the other side down instead of going, how can my side be better? And
Yeah.
really focusing on what you can control, which is you.
Yeah.
But people get obsessed with the things they can't control and get angry. And I think it's not great for your mental health, is the bottom line. It's not useful. We don't grow. Nothing changes.
Yeah.
I think these debates are not helpful to the industry, a lot of the ones that we've been talking about today. But there's a saying by Grace and Perry that I'd like to end on. It's a real
Yes.
end moment, this one.
Yeah.
And I thought about it when we were talking, and Grace and Perry says, hold on to your beliefs lightly. Something very similar to that.
Yes,
Or
yes,
don't
yes.
hold on too tightly to your beliefs. And
Yeah.
when I first heard that, it spoke to me so much, because when you hold on to things so tightly and you're so angry and you're so rigid, it's such a difficult way to be in life.
Yeah.
And when you hold on to your beliefs lightly and you're like, I believe this, but it's all right that you believe that. Oh,
Yeah.
what an easier way to live. And so
Yeah.
hold on to your beliefs lightly, folks. I think
Beautiful.
that's a really smart. I think about that a lot, particularly when I'm getting quite, what's the
Ranty.
word? Nancy.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a really nice, that's a lush phrase to end on. Have we got any shameless plugs today, Hayley?
I've got one.
Go on,
I've
sling
got
it
one.
in.
And so if you're following me on social media, you'll notice I've been talking about my new membership, which really I had 2 memberships, and now I'm going to just have one for everyone. And so
you
I'm going to
changed
do
your
a
mind.
webinar, because I changed my mind.
And that's okay.
And that's okay. And I want to support any hairdresser around burnout, boundaries, mental health, self-care, all that sort of stuff that I do. And so I'm now moving forward going to have one membership called the Resilient Hairdresser Membership. And I'm going to do a webinar on the 25th of Feb that you can sign up for now. There'll be a link in the show notes and all over my Instagram. That's a bit like, is this membership for you? And if you're thinking, I don't know if I want to join that membership, what will it be like? Come and listen to the webinar and I'll talk all about the membership and you can figure out if it's for you. And so that's my shameless plug.
Are you going to do your,
come and see my webinar.
Your best QVC? Can we do a QVC style webinar?
Oh my
please?
God. God, yeah, I might do. Yeah, I might do. I'll think about that. I'd absolutely love it. Do you know who else would be really good on QVC is Viv, our mate Viv.
I knew you were going to say that as soon as you even said amazing.
Imagine me and Viv doing a show together. Oh my God.
Can someone make this happen,
so
please? Oh, I'd love it. I'd love it. Amazing. Thank you, Hayley.
I think we'd be brilliant. So let's do our hyper focus.
Yeah.
What have you got, Maddie?
So I've gotten into I started going to the gym nearly a year ago, well, just under a year ago, and when I went to LA, because I love LA, as we know, and everyone was doing this like reformer thing. I was like, what the heck is this? And then the very lovely Harriet Westmoreland, who is nail tech, if you don't know, she's fabulous. She started talking about it. And honestly, I'm so influenced. Like, I'm sure Harriet wears Uggs. I'm sure I have my makeup bag and skincare. I'm like, oh, Harriet has this. Hashtag influenced. And she put on about going to it. And I thought, oh, that's brought it front of mind. So I have started doing reformer, which is a type of Pilates. You've done this before, haven't you? On the machine
used to do it,
thing.
Yeah, years ago.
Yeah, it's hard. Hard
it's
work.
really hard. When my back was really bad and I was behind the chair, I was going to Pilates classes, like floor Pilates, and I realised I needed a bit more, but I was getting injured a lot because I was so fragile in the Pilates classes. And so I started doing one-to-one reformer classes with my old Pilates teacher, Jill. She was wonderful. And I loved it. Yeah, I really liked it. There's something a bit more fun about doing it on a machine, isn't there?
Yeah, I like, I'm still training and I thought I want to have, like, my flexibility is terrible, my coordination's terrible, my balance is terrible, all of which are things that you do in there. I did a class the other day and we were on the machine and you have like a half deflated ball under like your lower back, hands in the straps, legs wiggling around. I was falling off the ball. Oh my God, it was humbling.
Like a dead bug on the floor.
Oh my God, yeah, horrendous. I thought, oh, am I video one? And then I thought, absolutely not. I look like a clip. But I've really enjoyed it and it's nice to have like fitness hobbies, which I've just never ever had in my life. And now I've got 2, which is lush.
I would
just
love
want to be
an
ripped,
exercise hyperfocus.
I know. It's
When will
so,
an
yes.
exercise hyperfocus ever happen? Like, I've got a
Yeah.
Peloton, but I'm not obsessed with it. I'm not. I
We
have
need
to
to get you
force myself
obsessed.
on it.
Maybe I need
Just
one, and then
not
the competitive
obsessed.
thing will
Not
compete with each other
competitive,
all the
Maddie, am
time.
I?
Oh,
I'm like an
no, you're
only
not.
child. I don't care.
Yeah.
It wouldn't
You
work.
can tell
It
you didn't
works
have
so well for
siblings.
you. Just I always won.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We battled.
It doesn't work, but I would love it. I really liked the reformer though. Do you know what, Maddie? Interesting fact. My balance is brilliant.
Is it?
That's what I learned when
How?
I did Pilates.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know. My
Just
balance
good.
is brilliant.
I
Like,
do
when you
feel
have to
like,
balance on one leg and do stuff,
yeah,
I'd be there for ages. Everyone was falling over. It's just like a skill I've got, which is
yeah.
crazy.
I
But my
think
balance
height
is
plays
really
a
good.
part. I think my center of gravity is very high.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be hard.
So
I
I am a
am
bit
very
wobbly.
short.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Like,
also a little bit wider, so quite sturdy.
sturdy. Oh my
It's
God.
not as far to fall, and covering the base is quite a lot there, keeping me
Oh, yeah.
going. But
You'd,
yeah, it is so crazy. It's very surprising that my balance is excellent.
you'd
Who
make a great
knew?
power lifter, Haley, with your
Yeah,
sturdy
maybe I
physique.
would.
I have to lift things bloody
Yeah,
6 miles overhead, man. It's hard graft.
yeah, I bet it is harder. It must be
So much
harder.
harder. Yeah, yeah.
That's
Like,
a longer lever.
yeah, like we
They
were
talk
doing
about that
like,
in Pilates, don't they? About a long lever.
yeah,
Because I had to
yeah.
do everything with bent knees, so my lever was less stressful on my back.
Yes, yeah, yeah. I get that.
Like when you do leg lifts, I do everything with a bent knee and
Yeah.
everything because she used to say the
Yeah,
lever's too long and
my
it'll hurt your
my
back.
leg lever is like, I'm like
It's
5 foot of legs.
twice mine.
Whew, hard graft.
Twice mine, I bet.
What's your
What's
hyperfocus?
mine? I'm just obsessed with your Pilates, not with me
Yeah.
doing it. My
I'll give you an
my
update.
hyper-focus at the minute, oh my God. Have you ever watched Hollywood House Lift, Maddie?
No. I'm in already though with that name. Tell us everything.
Honest to God, right, it is my absolute favourite thing, and I'm obsessed with it for so many reasons. Hollywood House Lift it's on like, you go on to, it's not quite on Prime, it might be on Freevee, but you find it through Prime. And there's this
Right.
guy called, his name's going to totally escape me, Jeff Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
He was a designer. It's high design. You'll get obsessed with the word high design if you
High
watch
design.
it. And he basically, he's been on TV in America for years, and he used to have a show called Flipping Out, and he flipped houses. And so
Right.
he buys, but this particular show, Hollywood House Lift, he's doing up famous people's houses. So he usually does up one room or something like that. But we're talking famous people. We're not C-listing it here. Famous people's houses. So I like to see, like, what does movie money get you? What does TV money
Yeah.
get you? And you really see this. But people, he's a big deal in America, and you can see the celebrities are buzzing to be on his program. And what I love about him is he's very dry and he takes the mickey out of everyone. He's not bothered that they're dead famous. He really
Yeah.
ribs people a bit. He's brilliant at what he does. His assistant is dead funny. He's got a few people that work for it and they're all really funny, and I get right into it. And you sort of follow them around. They're obsessed with junk food. So they're always in junk food places, having meetings. It's just really funny. And so there's this combination of, I love a makeover show, like
Yeah.
any makeover show I'm in. I love it. And I like looking at nice houses. This is why I watch The Housewives. I just like
Obsessed,
looking
yeah.
at nice things. But there's that bit where there's enough the dynamics between the people. And he's doing up his house at the moment. Oh, there's a new episode out today, Maddie. I couldn't be more excited about it.
So there's
And
not the drama of like selling sunset. It's not like high drama. They're coming in the like
no, there's
undercrackers.
not a
No.
lot of there's not a lot of high drama, and it's not even like a speed makeover show. I mean, they have little crisis here and there.
Is it more
the
like
tiles
Queer
didn't
Eye
arrive.
makeover? Like that sort of
Yeah.
like a more wholesome
Yeah,
yeah.
with a much more sarcastic vibe.
Ooh,
Like,
I could
he's
do
very
that.
sarky and funny, Jeff.
Yeah,
I
how
really
would
like
Jeff?
him. He's like
Okay.
lovely, but he's got quite a gruff exterior.
Yeah.
But he's actually just very dry and quite funny and very, very good at what he does. And
Right, it's
so
going on
it
the
ticks
list.
a lot of boxes for me. Get on it.
I love our trash
The
TV
second
talk.
I know. The second series is on at the minute, so you've got a good first series to just bosh through.
Mint. Yeah, I'll do it.
45-minute episodes.
Lush.
45.
A good
Yeah,
recommendation.
perfect.
Thank you. We can all chat about this
Go
next
watch it,
time.
folks. Treat yourself. It's brilliant.
Mint. Well,
Thanks, Maddie. It's
thanks
been fun.
again. Yeah, absolute pleasure. And as always, I'll see you next week.
See you next week. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. And don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments.
Please support those who support us and check out Timely, who we recommend is our favourite booking system for you. New customers can get 50% off their first 3 months with a code COFFEE50.